Okay, today we're going to look at lesson 7, which is solving inequalities. Honestly, this is very similar to solving equations. We're going to do it the exact same way. The only difference is instead of an equal sign, we have a what? Greater than or less than, okay? Or greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. You're going to solve exactly the same way. There is one special rule that we're going to write down that you need to know. This is something you may want to put on your cheat sheet later, okay? Here is the rule. When you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you must reverse the inequality. Everyone should be writing this down. Okay, notice I underlined multiply and divide. This only happens on multiplication and division. So, if you add or subtract, does that mean you're changing the inequality? No. If you multiply or divide both sides by a positive, do you change the inequality? No. Only when you are doing that both sides by a negative. That's the only time, okay? Every other time, you just leave it exactly how you see it, okay? Now, that doesn't mean we're going to use that right off the bat, but in just a second we are, okay? Okay, t plus 9 greater than or equal to 21. Anybody want to try this one? Okay, Jack, what do you think?
Is that 21?
Yes.
Okay, I think you need to put them up.
Okay, anybody else that doesn't have food in their
No,
mouth?
I'm
Noah,
good
go.
now.
Okay, thank you. So, just like we did with an equation, you're going to subtract, you do the opposite of what you see. What would that leave you with, Noah?
Or a T, and then the Y, and then
Well, what do I bring down?
the, yeah,
Greater than or equal to what?
greater than or equal to 12.
Okay. Now, how could I know if my solution is correct?
You check it.
You check it, right? Exactly like we did with an equation. The difference is there multiple numbers that we could use to check? Yes. Someone give me an option that we could use to plug in for t. Noah?
Plus 9. Wait, for T?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Deja?
13.
Why 13?
Because it's bigger than 12.
Yeah, because it says your value for t should be greater than or equal to 12. I would always recommend not choosing the exact value, okay? Because it's just going to help you know for sure if it's right or wrong, okay? So let's choose 13. If I plug in 13 for t, that means this inequality should still be true. What is 13 plus 9?
22.
Is 22 greater than or equal to 21? Yes, it's greater than, so that means my solution is correct. Okay? Easy enough on that, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, that I'm not going to go over because it's okay. Okay, somebody want to try this one? Negative 5 greater than or equal to negative 6 plus x. Listen, you guys, it's exactly what, Tanner?
Plus 6.
Yeah, just plus 6, right? We want to get x by itself, so we do the opposite of what we see. So my 6's cancel. What's negative 5 plus 6?
1.
So I get 1 greater than or equal to x. Now, here's where you have to be careful, right? Notice this time, is my variable on the left or the right? It's on the left. So when I'm choosing a value to plug in for x, what am I going to choose? What does this say if I read x first? It says x is,
Less than or
it says x is less,
Less than or equal.
what did I say?
The left.
Okay, I meant last time was on the left.
Oh.
This time is on the right. Okay, you good? Okay, so here's what I'm saying. When your variable is not on the left, when it's on the right, you have to be careful about what you choose because this says x is less than or equal to 1, correct?
Yes.
So, somebody give me a value, raise your hand, that I could plug in. Cutter, what do you want to choose?
0.
Okay. What is negative 6 plus 0?
0. Or not 0,
Negative 6. Is negative 5 greater than or equal to negative 6? It's greater than, so that checks. That means x less than or equal to 1 is correct. Now, for Alex, it does not require you to write the variable first, okay? So if you get 1 is greater than or equal to x, then you can write it in exactly how you see it, okay? You just have to be careful when you do your check about what you plug in, when the variable is on the right side, not the left, okay? Is everybody with me on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me show you one with a decimal, just because you'll see it. Somebody want to take this one? Negative 1.7 less than x minus 3.5. Okay, go.
So you need to do plus 3.5.
Okay, negative 1.7 plus 3.5. What's that going to give you, Jack?
Would it be 1.2?
Uh-uh.
1.8.
There we go.
1.8 is less than x.
Okay. Now, here's the deal with a decimal. Does that mean when I'm plugging in a value for x that I have to choose a decimal?
No.
No. And if it was me, I would not choose a decimal. I would choose something that I could easily subtract. Okay? So, Jack, what number do you want to plug in for x? Are you picking numbers that are bigger than x, or bigger than 1.8 or smaller?
Bigger.
Bigger. Okay?
So maybe say,
Choose a whole number.
say 2.
Okay? Jack, what's 2 minus 3.5?
Probably be negative 1.5.
Is negative 1.7 less than negative 1.5?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay? Now, here's the hard part with decimals and fractions, you guys. You have to be a little more careful on your check because you need to know. Like, obviously, with whole numbers, we're pretty good. Sometimes we get confused with fractions and decimals, so just be careful, okay? All right.
Wait, so is it right or wrong? That's if you check it like that.
Well, that means that your solution of x greater than 1.8 is correct. If your check is true, that means the solution you got is correct.
Well,
Okay.
the check is wrong.
It's wrong? How?
Oh, negative.
Okay.
I must be good.
Hey, Jackson. I'm going to take that from you. All right. Listen, we're still on pretty basic problems, okay? Most of these are not difficult. Kai, what would I do to solve for v on this problem? How would I get v by itself?
You do divide by 8.
Because anytime you see a number right next to a variable and you want to get rid of the number, you're going to divide, okay? All right? What would I get?
7.
Tell me the-
V is greater than or equal to 7.
Okay? Why did you not switch the sign? Say it again, Deja. Because I didn't divide both sides by a negative. Okay? All right. Kai, can you do a check for me?
Okay, so you would put
You can choose anything you want.
8.
Okay? 8 is greater than or equal to 7. All right. What's 8 times 8?
64.
Is 64 greater than or equal to 56, Kai?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's greater than, so that checks. That means my solution is true. Okay? All right. Now, what if it looks like this? Somebody want to take this one? Somebody that hasn't gone yet?
I haven't gone.
Excuse me?
No, I haven't.
What did you say?
I haven't gone.
Okay, I'll give you the next one. Jace, go. Okay. And everybody, what happens when you divide both sides by a negative?
You have to abolish
So it becomes x is
greater than or less
less than or equal to, right? It was greater than or equal to. We divided both sides by a negative, so it flips the sign. What's negative 20 divided by negative 4, Jace?
5.
Positive 5. Okay? Jace, can you do the check? Tell me what you want to plug in for x, Jace. Yep, any number less than 5.
Negative 9,800.
Oh, now Jace, pick something simple. Jace, just pick a simple one-digit number.
Negative 2.
Okay. Jace, what's negative 4 times negative 2? Is 8 greater than or equal to negative 20? Yes, it is. Okay, so that checks. Listen, you guys, on your check, make it simple for yourself. If it's multiplication, what's the easiest number to plug in?
those.
2.
0, because anything times 0 is just going to give you 0, right? Okay, so if it was me, I would use 0 every time I could, because it's going to make you move through that check really quickly, all right? Okay, we're good on those. Sir,
Why did you change the like
the inequality?
Yeah.
What was the rule we wrote down at the very beginning of class? Did you write it down?
Probably not.
Even though I said every person in this room should write it down. Before you leave today, you should copy that down from someone. When you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. Okay? Yes? Hey. Hey. All right. Anybody want to take this one? 8 is less than negative 6/5 times v.
You said I got the next one.
Oh, that's right. Okay, go.
All you divide by negative 6.
Okay. Deja, what happens when we divide both sides by a negative?
You switch the thing.
Switch your inequality. Okay. So we have 8 divided by 6/5. If you need to do this on the side, you can. Or 8 over 1 times negative, hold on, times negative 5.
Oh.
Listen,
Jeez.
hey, listen to me. I know. Some of you guys are on the right track. I'm showing you, okay? She said divide by negative 6/5. What did I do out to the side here? Dividing by a fraction is the same as doing what? Multiplying its reciprocal. If you do that from the start, that's fine as well, okay? 6 and 8 are both divisible by 2. What's 4 times negative 5?
Negative 20.
Over 3. What are you confused about?
Why would you flip it? Because the 8's not negative.
But the
Why would you flip what? The inequality?
Yeah.
What's the rule, Noah?
Wait.
Hold on.
Both
Oh, hey,
sides.
listen. Noah. I called on Noah. What's the rule?
Let me read it off to you. When you multiply or divide both sides by negative.
Okay, stop. What did we just do to both sides?
Oh, wait.
Noah, what did we divide both sides by?
The negative.
Negative 6/5. So then what do you have to do?
Well, oh,
Flip your fractions,
I
okay?
thought. you
The
had
8 does not matter because we're not doing that. We're dividing both sides by negative 6/5. Okay? You with me?
Sure.
Okay? Alright. Now, listen. This check should be really easy because I just told you what was the easiest number to choose.
0.
Can I choose 0?
Yeah.
Is 0 less than negative 20 over 3?
Yeah.
Jace? Thank you. It's not less than, okay? So, I can't choose 0, but I can choose a whole number. But here's where you have to be careful. You need to know what 20 divided by 3 is.
Okay.
But like
6 point something, right?
6, yeah. It's 6.
Okay, so it's
6.3.
6 2/3, right? So I need to choose a number that is less than negative 6 2/3. Okay,
Negative
let's choose negative 10.
10.
Here's the reason why, okay? You're going to see in just a second.
How would you negative?
Because what am I dividing this fraction by?
Negative 6. Or, yeah, negative 6.
What am I dividing this fraction by? Everybody look at the board. I'm circling it for you. What am I dividing the fraction by? 5. I'm dividing the fraction by 5. So wouldn't it make sense to plug in a number that's divisible by 5?
Yeah.
Yes, it would, okay? Now, if you don't, you can still work the problem out, but I'm trying to make it easier on myself, so I'm going to choose a number that's divisible by 5, okay? What's 10 divided by 5?
2.
What's 2 times 6?
12.
Is 8 less than 12? Yes, that means it checks, okay? Again, you can choose any number, it's just going to leave you with a fraction, okay? That's why I just think a little bit ahead, okay? We're almost there. I got 2 word problems and then we're done. Okay, the first thing, hey, if we complain, I assign more. So, you should be thankful for what you have. The first thing you have to do is just translate this into an inequality. You don't even have to solve. We're going to do 3 times the sum of a number and 17 is at least negative 19. Okay, does anyone think that they can translate this into an inequality? You don't have to solve, you just have to write it out. We're going to use y as our variable. Anybody think they can do it? Come on, you had a problem exactly like this, you guys, on your quiz. Katie?
Okay, so 3 on the outside of parentheses.
Why would you use parentheses, Katie? What tells you?
3 times the sum.
Times. When we see times, that means we're multiplying. We use parentheses, okay? How can you show the sum of a number and 17?
And then inside the parentheses, y plus 17.
Good.
And then
At least negative 19. Here's where we need to be careful. This part right here.
Oh, it's.
No, Katie,
so the one that goes this way is not so
tell me greater than or less than.
less
Like that?
Yeah.
Are you sure? This would be at most.
Oh.
than. Okay.
Okay, so what should it be?
The other way.
Okay,
When it says like that-
listen, if you go to the store and your mom says you can get at least 3 pieces of candy, what is she telling you? You can get 3 or more. If she says you can have at most 3 pieces, she's saying 3 or less. We've got to know the difference, okay? And then all you have to put negative 19.
That's just a big mistake.
Okay? Now, here's the deal. I realize most of the time you don't hear at least. Okay? It's very rare. Most of the time you hear at most. But we got to know the difference. Okay? All right, last one. And then we're done.
Wait, do we not have to solve it?
No, this one you just have to write out. Okay? This one you do. All right? It says Jack buys candy that costs $7 per pound. He will spend at least $35.
Is that one?
What is he buying?
LB, like pounds.
I'm buying
Oh,
What is he buying?
Hey, hey, listen to me. I'm going to read again. Jack buys candy that costs $7 per pound. LB means pounds. He will spend at least $35 on candy. What is the possible number of pounds he will buy? We're going to use P to represent pounds. Can anybody tell me what my inequality would be?
7,
Say it, Cutter.
7, 2.
At least 35. We just talked about at least.
Yeah, it's less than or equal
We just talked about at least.
to. Oh, wait, greater than or equal to.
What word says less than or equal to?
At most.
At most. Okay? All right?
So when it says at least, just point it to a smaller number, but it says at most, do it to a higher number.
Well, no, because we read left to right. At least is greater than. At most is less than or equal to. Okay? Hey, hey, I want you to pay attention. Listen, here's the deal, you guys. If you get confused by at least and at most, where should you put that?
And your cheat sheet.
Yes. Okay? Until you get it figured out, put it there. All right? Cutter, can you solve this?
Oh, yeah. Then divide that by 7.
Okay? And you would get P is what?
Equal, greater than or equal to 5.
Okay. All right.